Just about 4 miles off the shore of Lake Erie at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. And we are underway in Buffalo. And they'll have very good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Cooks will come in motion right. Here's a 2nd and 7. There's Chris Olave. The ball comes out. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Kamara gets it again on 2nd down. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So they decline the hold, and that's going to lead to a 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now. Back deep is Brandon Codrington. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Allen, little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that'll make it 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
From the 24 now, here's 2nd down and 7. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack. They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Has his man, it's Shakir. And he's not going to sniff the 1st down here. He stopped at the 25. It's a gain of 9, but it's also going to mean a punt here on their opening drive.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. In motion, the tight end. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
And time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball, how much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Pitch and catch to Moreau, the tight end. So they will tread backward on the holding penalty.
And I know that they're going to get coached up and they'll get yelled at a little bit, but let's face it, it is hard not to do at the speed and pace that they play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Second and 13. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want it to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
Kamara is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as they'll tackle him at the 3. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
As a linebacker, you're taught to stay just slightly behind the ball carrier just in case he makes a cutback. But when you find the gap, shoot it. And he found it all right. Took it straight into the backfield and made the tackle for a loss.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
The ball down at the 1 as they come up after the penalty on another 2nd and goal. They'll set up to throw. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Juwan Johnson from a yard out. And the Saints have taken the early lead on the road here in Buffalo. So 2nd and goal there from the 1. They go to the air.
And the perfect down to throw the football in this sequence. 2nd down is always kind of that, do they throw it, do they run it? They worked it out to perfection on that one by throwing it into the end zone.
Groupie able to add the PAT. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So here come the Bills out for their second drive. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go. Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Allen going to throw. Quick slant to Shakir. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Here comes 3rd down and 7. Now Allen. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
First down, here's the run with Cook. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Here's Cook again. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Motion man is Shakir. Tap forward by Allen on the jet sweep. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Give them the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
And this is just a little touch pass. They send the receiver in motion, just kind of tap it forward to him. Now, it doesn't turn into a huge play, but they do pick up a first down, a nice consistent gain.
Allen. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Here's Allen to throw it. He's got his target. It's the tight end Knox. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 15-yard line. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
To the air, Allen. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. First down marker at the 5. It's 2nd and goal. Throwing now is Allen. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
Not a great start dropping his first target, but let's face it, it won't be his last chance because he'll get opportunities to make up for that one throughout this game.
They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Allen now looks to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And the Bills are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a 1st down.
Allen going to try and keep it. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Josh Allen keeping it himself from a yard out. And the Bills are an extra point away from drawing level.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
These two teams all tied after 1. The Saints with a football here to begin quarter number 2. 2nd and 7 as they've got it as we resume action. They'll look to throw here. The pass caught by Olave. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. A give to Kamara running right. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. They run it again with Kamara. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. He'll get 15 and a Saints 1st down.
That's how you get right up off of the mat because on the last play, they stoned him in the backfield and dropped him for a loss. But he's the type of guy that scared me a little bit because he's not daunted. Just got right back up, showed some confidence, and picked up a 1st down with his very next run.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Complete. It's Johnson. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches as we just saw him do there because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They're going to look to throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 24-yard line. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a second and long. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
I tell you what, that's a veteran play from a guy in his first season in the NFL. A lot of rookies will try and force something there. He thought better of it, and that was the right decision.
The Saints on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. They'll look to throw again. And this is going to be incomplete.
Smart move to throw that one away. You're in field goal range, so you definitely don't want to be loose with the ball. And that's great work by this defense to force a 4th down.
Here's Blake Groupie now for the Saints field goal.
On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And he missed it. It's no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. That's so frustrating for an offense, especially on the road. You put together a great drive, but in the end, you come away with nothing.
And it kind of silenced the crowd a little, too. But few things wake them up quite like a missed field goal.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Beginning this series with a handoff to Cook.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
To throw, it's Allen.
Shakir hauls it in.
It'll go as a gain of 4. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Now Allen.
Now a screen set up for Johnson.
And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. It's a 9-yard gain, and it'll keep the drive moving.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Cook up the gut. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd and 6.
Here's Allen.
Has his man, it's Shakir.
They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
So the shotgun snap to Allen. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down.
Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
2nd and 10. On play action, Allen. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. He's got room to roam. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Dawson Knox, 43 yards. And the Bills have taken the lead.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Extra point by Bass, up and good.
And that makes the score 14-7.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The New Orleans offense set to take over.
That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they can get this game tied up.
And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. They'll set up a throw. That's complete to his running back, Kamara.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
He'll drop to throw. His throw incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun.
And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down.
So after 3 drives and 3 touchdowns combined between these two clubs, finally we get a defensive stop.
Yes, and welcome to the party, defensive players. And glad to have you, because for a while there, it almost felt like it was 11 going downfield on air. Okay, so to be able to have someone come up, make a stop, now we got a football game going.
And here come the Bills. Now their last 2 drives, both ending in touchdowns. It's gotten them this 14-7 lead.
And it looks to me, and I think you're probably seeing the exact same thing, they're in an ideal spot now to create some separation. The way that they're functioning on offense now, they can create a pretty good gap, allows their defense to play with a little more verve and confidence.
Yeah, big article in the paper this morning about them stringing possessions together for consecutive touchdowns. Well, right here, they're trying to make it 3 in a row. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. That is caught. And he will have the 1st down as he gets this to the 47. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Tyrann Mathieu, normally known for the pass coverage, this time a sack. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Setting up the screen for Cook. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
The key to any screen play is all in the deception, and that means everyone on the offensive side of the ball. But someone gave it up because that one wasn't very well concealed. And the defense able to rally to him and hold him for just a short gain.
And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. Fair catch called for and collected right at the 10-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Second and 1. That's caught by his tight end, Foster Moreau. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. That's complete to Moreau, the tight end. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. So a holding penalty, and that'll send him backwards.
You know they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. He'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here is 3rd and quite a ways. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. Now the Bills will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on 4th down, Matthew Hayball on to punt. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one goes sailing out of bounds. Where did it cross? Well, they're going to say on this side of midfield. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Allen completes to Shakir once again. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor, and it's a first down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Allen to throw it. Finding Knox there, complete. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the left hash, this from 37. The kick by Bass is good, and the Bills will add on to their lead. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. And the Saints going to go on offense one final time in this first half. 1 second, all that remains. They'll throw now on the final play. And this one is incomplete. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. A 10-point game, 17-7 the score as we get back to it on EA Sports. And able to get this out to the 25. Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
And he's going to have a Bills first down as the tackle made here at the 36. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Throwing now is Allen. Little pitch and catch to the tight end Knox. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. The slot man in motion right. Now Allen. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 35. That's a 3rd down conversion to 24 yards there. Nice play.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
To the air, Allen. Out to the left, he's got his tight end Knox. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman.
That's on the guard, David Edwards. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Now Allen again. It's caught by Coleman. It's a big play, yet amazingly, because of how far they had to go, they're still looking at a 2nd down here. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Allen going to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Here's Allen. And that is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo. Khalil Shakir from 4 yards out. And the Bills take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half.
And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the 2nd half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Only able to gain a couple there, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
To the sideline and incomplete.
A great job defensively taking away his receivers, and he was forced to put that one into Lake Erie, but that's what good quarterbacks do. They don't take unnecessary chances if they don't have to.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Back to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara, and he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 48-yard line. They'll set up to throw. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now back to throw. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 22 yards there, a first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Back to the ground. It's Kamara. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
From the 25, here's a 2nd and 8. They're going to look to throw. And that's complete to Cooks. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. First catch of the game for Cooks. It'll be a first down.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Ball on the 8. It's 2nd and 4. Now they'll toss it out right to Kamara. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A 5-yard gain there makes it 1st and goal. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
Now a play fake here on first down. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal.
One of the tight ends comes in motion. They'll run it with Kamara. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Saints are able to cut into that deficit.
Well, he'd been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been unfair to bring someone else in to finish the job. So they go back to him again, and he delivers with a touchdown run.
The point after, good by Groupie. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. This now a 10-point game, so things tightening a little bit after that last score. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. Throw left side is hauled in by Palmer. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's 2nd down. Up the middle, it's Cook. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Allen now looks to throw. Has his man, it's Shakir. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 yards and a Buffalo 1st down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice 1st down. Drive keeps moving.
Shakir hauls it in. And he's got this down to the 35. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His 2nd catch in a row, 1st down. Motion man is Shakir. He's going to handle it on the touch pass. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now Allen. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I had to do a double take on that one, Brandon, because so far in this game, we haven't seen many of his passes fall incomplete.
Second and 20. Coleman, the man in motion left. Throwing on 2nd and long. Allen. This is Coleman with a grab. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Buffalo, here to begin the fourth quarter. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And the Bills will add on to their lead.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
So after knocking through the field goal, here's Bass to kick it away. On the return, here's Rashid Shaheed. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. He'll drop to throw.
Tries the left side and finds Olave.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. So the completion good for 7 there. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down. A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. And this one will be touchdown inside the 40-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground.
Taken down at the 42.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that 1st down carry.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
Again, it's Cook. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Allen from the gun on 3rd down.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
The Bills send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. There's Cooks in motion right.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Olave holds it in.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. 4th quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You've got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Second and 2. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
But they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Here's 2nd and 8.
He lets it go deep for Olave.
This is caught inside the 15.
And he's going to be out of bounds all the way down inside the 15. And now Sean McDermott is going to throw out the challenge flag. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
They'll look to throw.
Working the middle here. That's complete to Moreau, the tight end.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone.
Ball at the 6 here as they work with a 2nd and 2.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass.
He had no options downfield there and just chucked it out of bounds.
There was no one open. He was in the pocket. Where was the intentional grounding call?
Oh, you wanted the flag.
Of course I did. I'm a defensive guy. You know.
Touchdown, Saints! From 6 yards away.
And the Saints have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Groupie able to add the PAT.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter.
After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Buffalo set to get the football back here. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. 1st down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. Motion man is Shakir.
They start the drive with Cook. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
And that's just an ideal run to start this drive because they're in full ball control mode now. So if you keep ripping off 7, 8, 9 yards a carry, you're going to have a great chance of finishing off this game.
Second down and a yard.
Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Palmer. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first and second downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Palmer going to go in motion left.
They'll try the middle with Cook. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. To the air, Allen.
Goes to Shakir once again for the completion.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that will bring up second down.
Well, there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected. But sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to. So sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
To throw, it's Allen.
Completes to Shakir once again.
Short completion, just 4 yards. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Now Allen again.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Oh, big-time credit. What a play design there. They wanted to get him loose in the open field, and they succeeded. He had all sorts of room to operate in, and they finally track him down inside the 5-yard line.
Now Allen off the bootleg. Steps away. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Josh Allen taking it in from 4 yards out.
And the Bills get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. But that's certainly an important touchdown there. It makes this a 2-score game.
But as we've seen, no lead is safe in this one with the way these two offenses have lit up the scoreboard. I would imagine that on their sidelines, they're both yelling at their defenses, hey, you want to get involved here? One big play from you, that could win the game for us.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
The Saints coming out now to take the field. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He gets it to Cooks. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Back to throw.
He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Pitch and catch to Moreau, the tight end. 2 yards on the pickup there. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
And this offense on 3rd down today, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 16. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still 3rd and long. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Throwing out right here, caught by Olave. And he is going to have the Saints 1st down, and that was something else. A big pickup on 4th and long to give them a new set of downs.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so he can only go so far outside, and they were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, they used your boy over there, the 12th man. Sammy Sideline, right?
Sammy Sideline. You know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That'll put him at 95 receiving yards now as he's got a 1st down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And that's complete to Cooks.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
2nd and 6 coming up. They'll look to throw again. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. A 1st down carry for Davis. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Credit Brian Brzee in there to greet him and drop him for a loss. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. 5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down.
Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8.
Here's Cook again. And he will have a Bills first down, and that should be that.
Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Game in hand, the offense takes the knee. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he'll take this one down near the 15. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
So it's a victory here for the Buffalo Bills, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say